Hello there, I'm Fancy, and in this tutorial I will show you how to create VR rifle for your Unreal Engine VR game. I will show you how to reload it, change ammo, and also how to switch between fire modes. You can see it somewhere behind me, so let's not waste your time and get to it. Alright, let's get started. I'm using VR expansion plugin, so if you don't know about that, somewhere here is video explaining all that. First thing we will do is to find gun example in here. So in search content, let's just put here a gun. There we have a gun base, so let's duplicate it and call it my gun or something like that. Let's do just my gun underscore pp. And now if you click on this little icon on the left, you can put it into content, just in the folder of content. And now you will probably also want to switch assets. So what I have done here is to find some custom guns that I can use. These are part of packs, so I can't give them to you, but you just need to find something similar. And make sure that you separate parts that you want to be removable. So let's open my gun, put it in here. And the problem that you will probably face is that it won't be rotated correctly. So if you just click on that gun, let's try to replace it with this thing. And you can see, as I thought, that it's rotated in the wrong way. And the thing is that we can't really rotate it in here, because if we would rotate everything else, it would completely mess up holding and stuff. So what I would recommend you to do is to right click on that assault rifle and export it quickly away. So let's export it somewhere, put it into Blender, delete everything else. I always like to have Blender opened at the same time as Unreal Engine because it's super easy to go between these two. So let's import that. And the only thing I will do here is to, of course, delete these collisions. We'll get rid of them later as well in the Unreal. And let's just rotate it on Z-axis along 90 degree. And I'm not sure if it's 90 or minus 90, but we will see in a moment. And now again, quickly export, FBX, selected objects only, and in export, you can export it to the same file, because now back in Unreal, here we go, you can just right click, re-import a new file, and select the same one. You don't have to reset it, let's just ignore that. And now if you put it in here, you can see that it was supposed to be minus 90 and the scale doesn't work. That sadly enough sometimes happens. So quick way to fix that is, of course, to set this to minus 90. And with a scale, what you can do is to set up here units, set it to 0.01. That should do the trick. Let's try to export it now. And if I import it, that should hopefully be as I like it. That should now hopefully work. Oh, look at that. That's how it is supposed to look like. And for some reason it also resetted our materials, but I'm not gonna really worry about that. It looks just like some bug. Let's just set here same material. Alright, compile it. And now what we have to do is to, of course, set up our, well, let's slow down the camera so I don't move around so much. Let's set up these hands so they fit how we would like it to be. Alright, I'm not gonna play with it too much, just something that will represent how it is supposed to look like, blah blah blah. Something like that, let's say. Not sure if you would have your hand like that, but let's ignore that. And hopefully you will spend more time and setting it just right. Alright, let's also delete virtual stock and all this text. Don't worry about that, we won't need it. Compile it, as well as this thing and this thing. It will give us some error, we can ignore that, not gonna need that. Probably move that fire collision, because fire location, that's a place from which it will fire. And we will want to make bullets a bit smaller, because right now if you look into event graph, it will set them to only half of its size. And they are pretty big, so let's try about 0.3. You don't have to set it, it's just a bonus thing that I would recommend you to do to make it a bit more realistic. Or you will probably want to create your own bullets afterward. Alright, let's put it in the game and make sure that everything works. Alright, now let's move towards it and grab it. And look at that, I actually make pretty good hold. It should shoot pretty far. If you press trigger, you can hold. Oh, come on. You can of course use your second hand. Alright, now to the next part. Let's move content browser next to each other so you can switch between them. By the way, that's super handy. I would recommend you to apply this in your workflow. And what we will do here is to set up system that will let us switch between different fire modes. Right now it's set just to full auto, but I would like to add here a semi and also some single shot. To do that, we will need something that will help us switch between that. So let's add here add component, and we will add VR component from that VR expansion plugin. And if you scroll completely down, there should be, I believe it's VR dial, and as our static mesh, right now I will just use dial, VR dial, top, is it? Yep. Now what we will want to do is to enable dial use snap angle list. So let's enable that and add here a few elements. That's basically in which angles it should stop. So one will be of course 0, which is this one. Then let's do 90 and 180. That should help. And now let's scroll down and put here on dial hit snap angle. And before we will actually set up it here, let's add here some switcher. So right click, put here switch on int, and let's add here 3 variants, 0 to 3, and our selection promote to variable, and let's call it gun mode. And we will connect it after our fire local. Let's take it here, because if you would look at all this logic, basically after you press the trigger button, in this case event on used, it will get to exactly this thing, this fire gun local that will start timer, which we will use as full auto and start firing right here. So on our gun mode 0, I would like to just fire a bullet. That means it will shoot only once. So fire a bullet on 1. Let's do that, let's say 3 times. So fire bullet, put here short delay to 0.1. That's maybe too much, but we can set it up later. Let's move that somewhere here and do that like 3 times. And we don't want that, and we don't want it to be messy, so right click and collapse it just to nodes for now. Right, semi mode. Alright, move that back in here. And our second, let's connect back to this timer because that's auto. You can comment it of course, so let's put it C single, C semi, and we can change this to auto. And now on our hot dial, what we will do is to put here a branch and make sure that if this is equal to, oh no, that's not equal to 0, it will set up our gun mode to 0, which means it will shoot on which means it will shoot only once you press the trigger. Now if it's false and it's 19, oh no, sorry, if this connector is here, and now if angle is equal to 90, it will set the gun mode to 1, and again if it's 180, it will set it to 2, which means auto. Alright, and by default make sure it's set to 0. Want it to shoot only once. We have to do a few more things before it will actually work, because right now it's pretty hard to grab it. So first thing you will do is to click here, put it a bit more in here, a bit more on the side, and we should have here something like a priority. Yeah, grip priority, and let's make it 3. Gun should be just 1. Alright, and one more thing, if you look at that gun, at the mesh of that gun, it will have probably pretty bad collisions. So collisions, simple collisions, yeah, that's way too basic. So let's just create new ones, collisions, auto-convex collisions, and apply that. And one last thing that I forgot to manage, here we have to enable a dial use angle snap, so it will automatically snap to that angle that we want. So make sure that this one is enabled. Alright, now in VR, it should actually work. Alright, if I take it and press the trigger, it shoots only once. Let's snap it to 2, shoots 3 at the same time. You can see that the delay between them should be a bit shorter. You can set it up yourself. And if I put it right here, it's automatic. That's cool. Time to find some school. Alright, now let's get to last part, and that's reloading. Let's create here new blueprint, because we want to have that ammo as a separate blueprint, so you can pick it up. Let it be actor, and let's call it ammo underscore pp, or maybe I can call it underscore for old time's sake. We will have to add here a component. It should be static, grippable static mesh, and let's set it to, of course, assault rifle ammo or magazine. I think it's a proper word. And now let's go into my gun BP. And what we will have to do here is to add here a collision. Let's it be just box collision. And we will have to set it up so it's approximately on the same place that you want to have your magazine. So in this case, don't use scale in here. I would recommend you to use box extend shape, and that's because we will use transform of this collision to set up our ammo. So it would kind of mess it up if we change the scale. So let's put it approximately here. And change our box extent. And what you should also do is to change rotation a bit. Alright, so let's scroll down and on component begin overlap. Let's cast to our new ammo. So ammo BP and connect it to other actor. And now first thing we'll want to do is to actually destroy it. So destroy actor, this one. Then let's put here a short delay, and that delay is there simply because sometimes for some reason it doesn't like to destroy stuff and create stuff at the same tick at the same time. Not sure why that is, it's just something that I would recommend you to do. So let's do super short, something like 005. After that, then let's create or spawn actor from class. And for the transform, let's actually, I think that the location will be enough. So let's take that box, get world location, and connect it in here. And as our class, of course, set up ammo BP. And what you want is to also attach it to our gun. So attach actor to actor. And a parent actor will be just self. So let's take it from here and put here self, get reference to self, and we will keep world. Starting by putting this a bit longer, let's try 0.02. And also let's put here a do once node, because we are never too sure if that overlapping is not happening too many times. And let's also, when we are at it, fix that collision or that wiggling movement you could have seen, and go into ammo in your gripable static mesh, and in VR grip interface let's put it down, and that manipulation grip switch to attachment grip, both of them. And it looks like our physics goes a bit crazy once you do that. That's simply because physics from this is colliding with this, so we don't want that. We can quickly fix that if we go into my gun BP and set up here another thing. We will have to set collisions enabled right here. Let's put it right after that. And we don't want to simulate physics, we want to use only query, which means that you will still be able to grab it, but it won't work with physics. So take it from here, so right click here, promote to variable, connect it in here, and we are going to call it ammo ref, let's say reference. So we have our ammo ref, so we need to take that mesh, so static get gripable static mesh, and let's assign here on grip, because once you grip it, it will be out of the gun, which is exactly what we want. So compile and set it up here. And first thing you want to do is to take our set collisions and switch it to physics as well, so it will work, so it will again interact with floor, you can throw it away, etc. Because as we all know, throwing stuff in VR is super fun. Let's connect it in here. And the next thing will be, of course, to go right from here and connect it to reset, so we can put here another ammo magazine. Oh no, actually I set it to physics only, I want collisions enabled for query and physics. Alright, that should help us. Okay, so I managed to make it work. For some reason I had to switch it to snap to target in this case, and then in your ammo I actually had to change it right here. So I put those 90 degrees right here, so it's rotated. And I of course changed grip priority here, otherwise you would be always picking up a gun. To do grip priority right here, set to 3, and that should be that. Let's add here also some sort of ammunition, so you really have to reload it. So in ammo, let's create here variable. Let's just call it ammo, and we will set it to integer, and let's set it to, I don't know, 31 And in my gun, let's create the same one. So call it ammo gun. I changed the name just so it's easier to work with. So what we will do here in our cast to ammo, you want to say set ammo gun to, and let's actually do it after the do ones just to be sure. Connect it in here from our ammo in here. So get ammo, set it in here and connect it as it was. And now what we will also want to do, once you shoot fire bullet right here, let's start by taking some ammo away. So let's move all this back and take your ammo gun, get it, set it to -1, so integer minus integer, and set it as new gun. So set, oh, we have to take it from here, ammo gun and set. Then let's put here a branch, and if it's less than 0, you can shoot, or less than or equal to. So less or equal to 0, you can shoot. Oh, if it's false actually. If it's true, then it wouldn't make sense, right? And we can actually show it to players somehow. So let's put here a text, scale it down. Let's do 0.2 times 0.2, set it to center. And let's do it in construction script. You want to set text. Make sure it's set text and not set text renderer. And we'll set it to ammo gun. So right now it should be 0. And then of course let's put here Ctrl C and do it every time you shoot. So let's put it here. Just to quickly explain it, once you put magazine in your gun, it will set ammo gun to the amount that is in that ammunition. Which means in this case, if it's brand new one, it should be right here, 31. I just put a number out of my head. Let's say head, because I have no idea how much ammo these guns have. And then every time you pull the trigger and shoot something, it will take 1 from it. And until it will be 0. Once it will be 0, it won't shoot anymore. And it will be, of course, updating the text and show you how much ammunition you still have left in here. Let's see if it actually works. Alright, let's take this thing. I can shoot, that's good. Let's put here ammo. And it didn't update it, but that's fine. It still should be able to shoot. I just didn't put that update. Once you put the magazine in, that we will have to fix that. Let's put it in 0, 2, only 1, alright. Now let's put that thing away, and if I put it back, oh, it resetted it, that's interesting. That shouldn't, oh, I know why it resetted it. We also have to change it in our magazine. Let's put it away. Let's start by setting it once you overlap it. So, let's take our set text in here and set it right after you set the ammo. So move that back and put it in here. Later on you should of course collapse all this to function and stuff like that. That's more of an optimization thing. I will probably make quite a lot of videos about optimization in the future. That's something I'm looking into right now quite a lot. Alright, and one more thing, we will have to set it in here to -1. So it won't stop on 0 but on -1. And we have two options right now. We can set the same amount of ammo as we are setting here in our other object, but we have already a system that we work with once you let go of it, once you actually pick it up and then pull it out of the gun. So we can set it right at this moment. So let's take our ammo ref and set ammo. And this time around we will set it right in the opposite way. We will set our ammo gun to our ammo. Alright, that should do the trick. Got on 0, throw it away, another one, here we go, that looks great. I think there is one more thing, that it will still shoot even if you put it away, because it will have still set that variables. So what we can do with that is to put here a quick branch. In my gun we have to make sure that it's in there, so just simply put here variable to do after the do ones. Let's move it back and let's put a variable. Let's set it to can shoot, set it to true, and then set it to false in here. And put here quickly just another branch and can shoot. If it's true, it can shoot. If it's not, it can't, of course. By default, it should be false. And will be set to true once you put the magazine in. Alright, that should be it. Alright, that should be everything for this tutorial. I hope that you learned something. If you want project files for this, they are on my Patreon. And a huge thank you to everyone who is already supporting me on Patreon. So that's about it. See you around, and Fancy out.